Memories of old and faded photographs, memories of letters, memories of lullabies, memories of tales about a small village in a far distant land at a far distant time, memories that grow dim in the mind's eye, memories of a community that no longer exists. But so long as we live, they too shall live. As long as we remember, they too shall be remembered, for they will become a part of us. In August 1989, 50 years after the destruction of the small Jewish community of Jeleniewo, Poland, my wife, son, and I visited my mother's place of birth. The maternal side of her family was indigenous with the village, dating back almost 200 years. With the assistance of a Polish guide and devoted friend, we interviewed the elderly few, the remaining precious link with the village's Jewish past. We learned about Yankala and Chaika, all memories. We discovered the site of the ancient Jewish cemetery, located at the end of a narrow dirt road. The rusted and twisted gates were partially opened as though expecting our long-awaited visit. All was profoundly quiet and sad. The cemetery was both desecrated and neglected, and seemed bereft of memorial stones. Among those interviewed was the village priest, who took over the parish only several years earlier. He was not aware of his existence. We shared with him our experience of discovery. He was very moved and requested to be taken to the site. It was then that a unique and close friendship was born between Jew and Catholic. This is my story about a pilgrimage to Jeleniewo and the most incredible experience that followed. This is the farming village of Jeleniewo, situated in the northeastern part of Poland and nestled among countless lakes, open fields, and brooding forests. In the year 1797, Jeleniewo had 346 inhabitants living in 69 houses. One of the earliest recorded tombstones in the ancient Jewish cemetery is dated in the Hebrew calendar, which corresponds to the year 1789 of the Common Era. On the eve of World War II, the village population was about 700 people, which included approximately 150 Jews, or somewhere between 15 to 20% of the general population. My grandfather was a farmer and a wheelwright. He constructed the wheels for the local peasant carts. At the turn of the century, a synagogue was located on the Schulgasse, the synagogue street. The church was on the Kirchgasse, the church street. And then there was my uncle, Moses Aaron Michalowski, his wife Masha, and 5 children, ranging from 3 to 16 years. They were among the 6 million victims of the Holocaust. The synagogue was destroyed, the fields laid barren and wasted, the homes became empty of their owners, the cemetery destroyed. All was now silent. Only a fading memory remained. 2 generations of villages probably never met a Jew, and never knew that the Jews once lived in this village. The only melancholy remnant that bears testimony to their existence is, ironically, the destroyed Jewish burial ground. The cemetery, left unattended since 1940, had a few remaining tombstones scattered beneath a blanket of weeds and wild shrubs, as though protected by nature from further desecration. It was at that moment of rediscovery that my wife and I promised that the cemetery was to be reconsecrated and a new memorial stone installed. This led to our return to Jeleniewo on the 29th of August, 1992. I discovered the small country road, which is nestled between the fertile green hills surrounding the village of Jeleniewo. The road leads to one of the many beautiful lakes in a region known as the Masurian Lake District. When I was a child,